everyone, I'm Alex and I'm the hands behind Lovecraft Crochet. My plushies are for the anxious, depressed, autistic, and neurodivergent. Small enough to travel in a purse, backpack, diaper bag, or even your pocket. You can check out my Facebook page or TikTok to see what patterns are available and stay tuned for the new ones coming out. I also make hats, scarves, blankets, and dice bags for the tabletop gamer or dice goblin in your life. Feel free to order through the page, TikTok DMs, or via email at love.craft.crochet@gmail.com. Now, on to the segment.
Due to the graphic and disturbing nature of the crimes discussed, listener discretion is advised. Retrostatic Radio presents Killing 15 Minutes.
Hello and welcome to Killing 15 Minutes, where we will give you your serial killer fix in 15 minutes or less, or your podcast is free. I'm Sam Rossi, and shortly I will be handing a poorly written synopsis of a serial killer to my brother, who hasn't read it, on a serial killer he's most likely hasn't heard of. This should be fun. Good luck, bro.
If you hear a smacking sound, that's Sammy eating some Hostess. No, it's not an ad, but it should be. That's Hostess donuts.
Chocolate covered.
When you got the munchies, and you got no money. Anyways, thanks, Sam. We're going to jump right into Michael Sharpe's life. His first known crime happened in March of 1975. When was he born? You said we were jumping right into his life. When was he born?
We don't have that information.
Okay. His first known crime happened in March of 1975 at the age of 20, when he broke into a woman's home, tied her up, and then robbed her. Sharpe was arrested a few days later after witnesses gave a pretty great description. I mean, it was a few days later. In these cases...
Yeah.
He was tried and convicted to 15 years in prison. Early parole was granted in mid-1979. He then moved to Odessa, Texas, and got a job as a tool pusher on an oil rig. What's a tool pusher?
I'm pretty sure it's the person that goes around and fixes things.
I mean, that would make sense. Or he'd deliver tools. 'Cause the name sounds like, okay, I kind of get what his job is, but at the same time, it's like, really? That's what they call that? Sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was a respectable man, according to his friends and family. However, in June 14th, 1982, Sharpe was at a car wash when he noticed Brenda Broadway with her two daughters, Selena and Kristi Elm. We talked about this. Don't bring me shit like this. If this goes where I think it's going, what'd I tell you?
You're right.
Threatening them at knife point, he forced them into his truck and drove outside of Kermit, Texas, where he raped Broadway and Selena. At some point, Broadway started praying out loud, sending Sharpe into a rage, with a quote, "There could not be a God if he allowed people to suffer like this." End quote. He proceeded to stab Broadway and Kristi to death. Selena, naked and barefoot, ran away and found help at a nearby oil field. Once police arrived, she gave all the information she could. Her mother and sister's bodies were found in a shallow grave. The sketch led to Sharpe being a suspect after multiple tips. A warrant was then issued and Sharpe fled the area. Sweetwater police got a tip that a man looking like Sharpe was on a bus to Louisiana. Sharpe would then be arrested with no issue. He was charged with kidnapping and 2 counts of murder. How does no bail for murder, but $200K for... How does that work? How does no bail for murder, but he has a $200K bond for booking? So he gets bail for... Does it mean that half of him gets the bail?
I don't know.
I get it. On the books, they have to be officially, for
This
kidnapping.
crime...
you would have, we would set the bail at $200K. But for murder, you get no bail.
So I'm going with they have to go with the no bail.
You think it's just a clerical thing? They have to do sort of like
for each charge, yeah.
You have 23 life sentences for clearly it's to have it on the books.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. He was found guilty of Kristi Elm's murder and then sentenced to life. Selena gave testimony at both trials. For Broadway's murder, he was then sentenced to death. See, just on a showing level, I would probably switch that around, where Broadway would be for life, but then their daughter or her daughter.
Right.
Because that would be the more heinous act, so it would be the...
To me, it would have. Yeah.
But I think that's also another clerical thing where it's like, if the Broadway murder was first, then they couldn't sentence him to die there. Or if you know what I mean?
Makes sense.
If Kristi's was first, they can't sentence him to death twice, sort of a thing.
Well, they could, but...
No, that's fair.
It's Texas.
Oh, then in that case, they'd kill him, kill him, zap him back to life, just to kill him again. As God intended. The police suspected Sharpe for the disappearance of Blanca Guerrero in May of '82. She was seen getting into a truck similar to his, but at the time no connections had been made. During his wait for his second trial, Sharpe did give a detailed account of her murder and where to find her body. He was never charged for her murder, however. I mean, granted, he was he was pretty much fucked anyways. But that's not fair. It's again bringing back the clerical thing, where it's like,
yeah,
I get why he would not be tried because they wanted him zapped and tagged and out the damn door.
Which makes sense, and it does cost money to run a trial.
Yeah. But then again, that's also because we have a for-profit No, we're not doing it. I'm not going to bring politics into this. I've brought politics into the last couple episodes. Sharpe stopped giving information after an article was released about his involvement in Guerrero's death. See, that's weird to me. I'll get into that for our discussion section, though. On November 19th, 1997, Sharpe was executed by lethal injection. Oh, man. I kept making zappy zap jokes. I should have been stabby stabs. He posted a 3-page statement about his born-again faith and his opposition to the death penalty. You know, it rarely is the people who aren't up for death penalty. And that's the end of that chapter. So the reason I say that it's weird, he was never charged for Guerrero's murder, but he stopped giving information.
He didn't want, what it was is he didn't want his kids to know further information, further about his crimes, so he wanted to keep them quiet. So he gave that one, and when it got out, he wasn't going to give up anymore.
Okay. So you're thinking that there were more murders?
I think there was more.
Oh, and you think that it was one of those things of...
I think he was I think he was a true serial killer in the fact that there are more bodies.
Right. No, that makes sense. Although it's weird that, because usually when a serial killer, especially ones that have a huge body count...
Some of them...
A lot of them, a lot of them go born again because it's the best way to turn around. And this is not a shot against the faith at all. But a lot of people, especially inmates and whatnot, will turn around and become born again, not because they have faith.
Because they have a lack of.
But
and they're
because
trying to...
It's not even like they're trying to get into heaven or anything, but it's the best way to get people to rally behind you, Oh, sure, he raped and killed some people. But look, he said he's sorry about it, and he said it on the Bible. And because my faith is strong and innocent... I'm not saying ignorant, I'm saying innocent, where you want to take people turning to your faith at face value.
Right.
It is an innocent faith. Because you don't want to turn around and be like, well, no, he's totally not a non-believer, despite the fact that he did these heinous things in his past. Because forgiveness is a major tenet that a lot of people forget. But, he found born-again faith. And it could just be the heinousness of it, because again, anyone who's been watching now or listening knows that when it comes to kids, those are the ones that I rarely I can't joke about them all too much. You know what I mean? Because to me, it hits home. But, yeah. And also, you didn't bring up that this dude had kids.
Sorry.
You also didn't bring up when he was born. You jumped directly into his life, which was actually directly into his crimes.
Oh, yeah, well.
Oh, yeah, well, you were stoned at the time.
Yeah,
that's Sammy's excuse for everything. Well, I was stoned at the time. Hey, where's my truck? Well, I was stoned at the time. But anyways, with how brazen
yeah, he was brazen in his activities when he kidnapped them.
Yeah, which shows to me that I think you're right, that he definitely had to do it before. Because at the major crime that he's being charged with, not Guerrero's death, but,
he's being charged with their murder and kidnapping.
That is not necessarily the end. It was the end because that was when he was caught. But, you know what I mean? That is the, end of the escalation. That's not, hey, I was just driving and I thought you were cute, so I'm gonna rape you and your daughters.
Right.
So it's like, and then with the Guerrero thing, it's like, okay, so he did do this before. So we can actually, and this is again just an inference and extrapolation, because,
right.
And I think it's where your brain went, which is why you were like, oh, I totally think he did more of these, is because we have 2 points on a chart, in theory.
Right.
The Guerrero killing and the Broadway rapes. Well, Broadway Elm rapes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And one's down here. I mean, he still did something similar. But that's down here where it's like, okay, this would be like the first 6 months of someone being active.
Yes.
And this is, again, just going off of an inference for what we've seen in the past. And even if you don't know anything about serial killers and you've been listening, you can see where, someone like Guerrero's death would be an earlier or mid.
It would not be his last nor his first.
Yeah. Whereas
it's definitely not it feels definitely not like its first murder.
Whereas, broad daylight, because isn't that what happened with
I think it was broad daylight.
For Broadway.
It was daylight, I think.
Well, I mean, he was at a car wash, and it could just be that I'm not foreseeing a mother with her 2 children at 8 p.m., the sun just went down going, you know what I think we need to do?
You need to go get a car wash.
They're not a 70-year-old man with their truck. Oh, man, I drove today. Hit the car wash.
Yep.
But, you know what I mean? But so brazen of it, even if it was, and it was too too brazen. Even if you look at it from, okay, maybe it was his first. He used his knife to get 3 people into his vehicle.
Yep.
Which isn't.
It's a confidence thing.
And that's really it. Like, he could be confident as hell, but not for your. Again, this could just be because of we've covered so many serial killers, so we do start seeing a pattern, and it's why, things like the behavioral analysis,
BAU,
whatever but what any mindhunter really, any real forensic psychologist, that's the word I was thinking of, behavioral psychology, looks at. It's not about one killing. You know what I mean? You can extrapolate assumptions based off that one killing.
But you need more of the pattern.
And if you see something like this, which comes off as more spur of the moment, if you did not know about Guerrero, this is a spur of the moment sort of.
Yeah, but
with his friends being like, oh, he was great, he's fine, shit like that. His previous crime that that he was arrested for, right? Wasn't it?
I believe robbery.
Yeah. It would not escalate to immediate kidnapping. Now, you do see a lot of people with, schizophrenia or psychotic behavior go into petty crimes like robbery, breaking and entering, shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone we've covered before, pretty much, has had petty crimes, then it escalates to murder.
Right.
But, no one was linking him to any break-ins at the time.
Nope.
No one was linking him to being creepy.
Nope.
Because even the people who were like, oh, Ed Gein, he was a great neighbor. He was a really nice but quiet kind of guy. From what this says is that he was outgoing, he was involved, he was...
He was a pillar of his community.
No, that was the last guy.
Oh.
The last guy was the cross-bearer.
Oh, yeah.
Or two times?
No.
No, it was the last one. It was Germany.
No. Last one was Argentina.
Oh, you're right. Then it was... Right.
The forgotten cannibal. He's so
the
forgettable.
people pickler.
The people pickler.
You're right. But anyways... These kind of people grate on me, and I realize it's strictly academic that it grates on me. Obviously, I'm not talking about the rape part. I'm talking about Sharpe. If you look at Sharpe's trajectory, as in you can see where it comes from to where he got caught, you could see that he's missing. It's not that he's miss. Well, it is. It feels like you're missing more to the graph.
Yes.
Okay, the robbery's fine. What was his... And not everyone needs a real, this is my trigger moment. But most serial killers, all serial killers, have a, this was my trigger moment.
Yep.
Even Dahmer. Even Gacy.
Mm-hmm.
Even the dude who just fucking killed his girlfriend. No, I'm not talking about the footballer who killed his girlfriend. Or ex-wife. Or then-wife. And her friend. I'm not saying who, but I'm saying you could see an inciting incident that causes that. Because even before those murders, there had been times where he's been extremely violent, or he'd snap, or, you know what I mean? There was something.
Yeah.
It wasn't just out of nowhere activity. Whereas this seems like one day a random dude went, you know what? I need to get me some rape in. I only have a knife. But that'll work, right? I know I make it sound so blasé, but that's kind of what it feels like.
It does. It totally feels... That's what my thing is that the confidence it takes to get three people out of their car, the ability to control those three people to the point where you can drive them to a deserted area, rape two of them before, snapping and stabbing two of them, allowing the third to get away.
Especially with the way he snapped at the way when Broadway brought up, starting to pray, or Broadway started praying, yeah. And then he snapped, God wouldn't let this fucking happen. That sounds like someone who's done it before and had that same conversation with himself.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I totally see what you're saying.
This one actually had a lot more meat to the discussion than...
A little bit, yeah.
I'm sorry for the last couple episodes of discussion. But even this one is actually... And this is going to be a weird thing, and you can keep it or cut it, I don't know. But there's only 2 pages for this one. Well, 3, front and back. But we had 3 for the Argentinian vampire. No, we had 2 for that. But this is one of those things where it's like, well, why is this serial killer more interesting than others? You know what I mean? Hey, this guy thought he was a vampire. Yeah, but he didn't... I can't say he didn't do a lot with it. What was 15 women?
Something like that.
But that would also lead to the like urban legend-y part of it.
Right.
Because it's like 15 women is 15 women. Now, if they were all prostitutes, I could kind of get it because of the stigma against prostitution and sex work. Or
all right, we're back to the vampire.
Apparently, but anyways, long story short is the reason that, and I think this actually is a fundamental thing. The reason that true crime podcasts, be it our wacky style or be it the more popular, ones that actually have a format and likability and listeners and a budget and a crew that actually edits.
I'd like the crew to edit.
Look, I just want to make enough money so that I don't have to edit. I just don't want to edit RSR anymore.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
All right.
I myself.
All right. What do you want to say to the lovely people?
Goodbye, lovely people.
I'm Sam Rossi. Later, y'all.
You're Eugene Carey.
Killing 15 Minutes is hosted by Arthur Carey, with scripts written and researched by Sam Rossi. If you like this episode or want to stay updated on this series, consider following Killing 15 Minutes on Patreon or Retrostatic Radio on all major social media platforms. Good night and God bless.
You're watching Retrostatic Radio.
Wheel of Random is turn, turn, turn. Tell us the 15 minutes we shall learn.
I'm Sam Rossi, writer and co-host of Randomly 15 Minutes, where the Wheel of Randomness gives me the topic and I write about it.
I'm Megan Klodnicki, and I'm the host of Randomly 15 Minutes. I cold read what Sam writes and learn in real time about a random topic.
You can find us on all major podcast platforms and YouTube.
Follow us on Facebook at Randomly 15 Minutes to get more random facts.